it was doing 1 million streams a day. So it went from 1 million to doing 1 million streams a day in about 2-3 months. Like, there's no point stressing about the past. I can't change it. So it's like, why not capitalize as much as I can off what I'm doing now? And it changed my life. I want everybody to look at me and understand that this is what I love to do. This is the narrative that I'm pushing. How am I gonna make it relatable to 90% of the people? Doing very well. I get a deal every year. I make
the main man of the moment right now, Simba.
Obviously, my name's Simba, but I'm from Swindon. I've been doing music my whole life, but I just started being an artist like 2 years ago.
She said she coming with the bread friends cause she saw a young nigga pull up in the Rover. Now she said she wanna come over, yeah, but I don't want no lover. I just wanna make the moolah la, yeah, the moolah la. I just wanna make the moolah la.
Today, I've got a little bit of a different podcast because it's not every day on this podcast or every episode I'm going to get the chance to talk to someone that I sat next to in my science class at school and even in music, which is obviously very relevant. So everybody I'd love to introduce, although I don't think he needs an introduction, Simba.
Yo, man.
There is literally so much to go through, but you've had so much success quite early on.
Yeah.
Again, it'd be really interesting to hear about how some of that come about or what went crazy that you didn't expect to, how that was happened. But where we like to start with most of this stuff is right from the beginning of what got you into music and being creative. And I know it was obviously at school because I was watching you.
Yeah.
So tell us about life growing up and what got you on your path in the music career.
Well, it's been a crazy journey. As you know, like, I'm from Zimbabwe. So I moved to England. I think I was 9 years old when I moved to England. Moved straight to Stamford in the Vale, which is like down the road, if you know what that is. Yep. But I used to play marimba. I didn't even know marimba. It's like xylophone. It's like wooden piano, basically. So when I lived in Zim, that's what I played for like 2 years. Moved to England, then I started playing piano.
What age did you move to England?
I was 9. So this is like 2008, I think. 2008.
So it's not like you were really...
No, yeah. Like, it was quite like, I moved straight into year 6. Like, I'll come in and I'll come into year 6. Next year, FCC. So now we're at FCC together. So like, I started playing piano. I played piano in church quite a lot, which is where my like music kind of started. And then I think when I was like 14, started producing. And this is around the time when we were in school. I think this is like year 9. And everyone's on the football pitch playing football, like on break time and lunchtime.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Everyone, we all were. But yeah, man, I was in the music room just on the piano constantly, like, and I didn't really know like I'm working towards something. I just love music, so I just kept doing it. Then I started recording myself, taught myself how to record, all of that. And then
that's just self-taught from YouTube.
Yeah, man, like watching YouTube videos and like as we were talking about earlier, there was a music teacher that called Miss Courgette, another one called Mr. West. They kind of remember Mr. West, innit? Yeah. So like, obviously, they just saw how much I love music so much, so they kind of invested more time, taught me everything that they knew. So like, yeah, man, it was a whole journey. By the time I reached like 16, I feel like I knew how to properly make a whole track, produce, mix it, everything. And from then on, it was just like, let me just keep going. Left there, went to college. Released my first song in college, a new college, like released on Snapchat, and everyone was just like, oh my god, this is hard. And then from then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously. I think it did like 10K, and we were like, wow, like I just done 10,000 views, like this is crazy. Then I released like another 4 videos, I think like within the span of like 2 years, just constantly working whilst I was in college. And then when I was about 18, I dropped Rover, which was just another song, the next song that I was just making. And then, yeah, literally like 2-3 months later, it goes viral. I'm in the charts and everything. Labels are hitting me up. And it's lockdown days, so like I'm in my house and I'm like, oh my God. And then, yeah, I'm watching all people around the world making dances to my song. And like, yeah, everything changed from there. Now we're here, man. It's crazy.
That's absolutely mad because viewers of this podcast won't actually know, but one of my small hobbies on the side is playing drums.
Yeah.
So I do remember being in those music rooms back at school.
And I remember when
Simba was always in those rooms. I actually have got this vague memory of playing football once.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to the lads, oh, he's always at the top of the field. Like, and you used to be on your own, like singing and kind of in your own space, didn't you?
And it's like music was like my way out. As you know, like our school was kind of like it was a lot. It was intense. Obviously, like we were friends with a lot of people. We were in the same friendship group and everything. But it's like there's just a lot of stuff that used to be said, a lot of stuff, comments and whatever. So like music was kind of like my way out. It was my muse. It was the one thing that kind of took me out of space and like, yeah. So like I'm glad that I did that. I'm glad I kind of like took my time to kind of just hone into what I love to do, because that's the reason why I can do it today.
And in school, did you ever get from that period? Did you know that you wanted to try and make a career out of making music, or did you have another plan?
I think I always knew I wanted to do music, but in my household it was very much like my dad's a businessman, educated businessman. My mom educated, so everyone was kind of like, you need to go to uni, you need to go to school. So like music was kind of like I kind of almost had to fight to keep doing music. So like it was my plan, but it wasn't something that I thought I'd actually be able to do. But the more and more I started to do it, the better I got to a point where I was like, yo, I'm so good at this. Like I'm actually really good at making music, so let me take this seriously. And then from then on, it was just...
So you never did doubted that self-belief?
No, I did doubt myself. In school, I think I doubted myself a lot. I feel like if I play my music to my boys, you know how your boys are, they're like, this is dead, this is like whatever. Yeah, man.
Like with my podcast,
yeah. But literally, they'll laugh at you and whatever. So it was like, in school, I didn't really believe in myself. I think when I got to college and I started to take it seriously, I was like, okay, maybe there's
You're
actually...
around people in the same mindset as
and
you as well.
Yeah. And people are starting to tell you like, yo, you can actually do this. And then that's the first time I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's see what happens.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And what was it that you were doing at college? Was it music there as well?
No, so in college I was actually doing business, I was doing maths and physics. My parents wanted me to go do radiology, so I was gonna be like a radiologist specialist, and like that's like x-rays for anybody that doesn't know, like taking x-rays and all of that. So like and I hated it, bro. I hated it so much. So like a lot of the time it was like if I wasn't in lesson, I was in the studio. And that's just was like my entire schedule. Is like I'll leave lesson and I'll go to studio, and the technician for the studio left at 7 o'clock every day. So it was me and him leaving New College 7 o'clock every day, like non-stop.
And that's what allowed you to have use of the studios going to college. So you're going to college for all these things like business and maths, but you're accessing the fact that there's a studio there as well.
Yeah.
And the guy was letting you use that no problem at all.
Like Merv, if you're watching this, he didn't like me at times. I mean, him kind of argue because I would just be on this door every day. Yo, Merv, is anyone using the studio? Yo, Merv, is anyone using the studio? But yeah, man, like I was there every day, bro, non-stop, just making music. I didn't even know what was gonna happen, where it was gonna take me. I loved it so much. I just kept going. Released any songs that I kind of felt like, oh, this is hard. And I feel like that's what's part of the journey. Whatever it is that you love to do, just keep doing it. Stop thinking about like where it is it could take you. Just do it. A lot of people just procrastinate and they don't want to like actually end up doing the work. So just do it, bro.
And there was no business plan at that point at all.
Nothing.
It was just making music because you wanted to make music and it was something you were enjoying, and it was an escapism from what you were doing at college.
Yeah. So I think it then turned from a business. I'm the music guy. In college then I met Raphael, R1 Finesse, who's my manager now today and my business partner. So he was doing law at the time in college, and he got an unconditional at university on the last year of college. So obviously, you know, if you get an unconditional, you technically don't have to go to all your lessons. So like all the time that I was in the studio, he was with me in studio, and he's just taking Snapchats and like whatever. So he's the one that actually got my first song quite big in our area in Swindon. And he was one of the first people to believe in me, to be like, yo, I really think we can do this. And then he started to use his business mindset to connect with different producers, videographers. He was like, let's go to London. He was the one that was like, yeah, we need to go to London and work with this person, that person, that person. So it started turning into more than just a hobby for me. It started to become a whole thing.
Like, Christ, there's a path here.
You know what I'm saying?
But Raphael was brilliant because in having that really supportive person by you, you almost started to put down that plan of, right, if we are going to do this, this is the path we've got to take. And I think a lot of the listeners, what I'd like to try and get across and start to pay is understanding what that process is, because it's not a business or a way like that most people would know. It's not like a coffee shop. It sells coffees and makes the profit.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
so to turn enjoying what you're doing with music into a business, what was that initial plan?
It was kind of making it relatable, making myself a brand, and putting myself in the right rooms with the right people.
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of where RAF came into it, where it was like, I think one of the first big relationships that we made was SBTV. I don't know if you know them, and Jamal Edwards. So he actually took us to we went to London, met Jamal and the entire team, played him our music. And this is around the time, obviously, Jamal's very good friends with Ed Sheeran. Like, the business was doing really well. So, like, and yeah, Jamal was just listening to our music. He's like, yo, I really like what you guys are doing. So let me take you guys on. Let me kind of help you, integrate you into the business. And yeah, the whole idea of, obviously, everything is different. Like, every business is different. But music is like, your brand is everything. How you're perceived and how you are. So like that's what we kind of wanted to work on in terms of I want everybody to look at me and understand that this is what I love to do. This is the narrative that I'm pushing. How am I gonna make it relatable to 90% of the people? So that's what we were working on for most of the time. Just kind of like doing as many like PR stuff as we possibly could, doing freestyles, going to certain places that everybody knows, like going to Big Ben and whatever, doing freestyles in front of just people, things that
Trying
people,
to be creative.
yeah, trying to be creative, trying to be relatable, and that's what I think that's the biggest part of it, like creating the narrative and creating the brand so that people can fall in love with that.
Yep.
And then the music comes after, or whatever it is that you're doing comes after. But your brand and your narrative is the most important thing, I think.
But something I find really interesting, I'm sure the audience will as well, is I suppose when you're just flicking through songs, the thing you hear is the artist and you rapping, etc. But you do a lot of the music behind that as well.
Yeah.
Like when you're actually creating a song or a track, what is all the bits that goes into putting that together?
And there's so much, it's so crazy. Like, as you know, I play piano, so like piano kind of helped me produce a lot. But obviously there's a production, there's making the beats. So like, just simply to keep it simple, every beat has drums, every beat has like bass, it has like the instruments. So like that's the first kind of initial bit. Make the beat, make the music. Whether you're playing it in, whether you're sampling stuff, taking stuff from old music and putting it together. But there's a whole process. Like I make the beat. After I make the beat, I have to make it sound nice. I have to make sure that it sounds the same when you're playing it on your phone, or if you're on a field and you're on your speaker, or if you're in your car, or you're in a house. So somebody else, a mixing engineer, has to come and then do that. And then somebody has to come and then master it to make sure it's not too loud. Keeping like there's a lot of technical stuff with the waveform and everything, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. By the time the song comes out, about 5-6 different people have worked on it to get it to the perfect, like to the last
Mix
bit.
of absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And where do you find what is the first bit of finding that like where do you get that beat from the rhythm? Is it just does it come to you random points, or do you sit down and try and be like, right, today I'm gonna come up with a beat?
Do you know what's mad? Right now, like literally 5 minutes ago, like I had a song idea in my head. So like even when we were upstairs, when I first got into our house, like a song idea came into my head, and I'll literally go on my phone and even show you. I just mumble stuff. So like I'll be like a melody just come into my head. I'll be like, and then I'll go home and I'll put words to it. But it's literally, I know a lot of people don't whatever, but it's emotion. It's inside you, and it's like I don't really know how to explain it. It just comes into my head, and I'll hear a word, and it'll trigger me to like, you could say a word and it'll trigger a whole chorus. Yep. Like, and then like I just have to go jot it down. But yeah, for me, I think it's vibes. I think the best way to explain it is just a vibe. Like that day, I'll just be listening to whatever.
You're feeling really happy.
Yeah.
It just triggers something.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if I'm upset that day, I'm gonna write something upsetting. I'm gonna write about how I feel that day. So like, yeah, it just depends on how you're feeling that day, which is crazy.
That's absolutely mad.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting process, but you did turn that into a business, and obviously most people know the craziest song that has blown up for you was Rover.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, because you're already doing all these things up to that point, and I think no doubt, as most people will do, without Rover as well, you were still on a trajectory that was an upward one.
Yeah.
So where were you before Rover? Before you did that song, like where had you got to in the whole process?
So we're, like I told you, we're linked up with SBTV, so they were helping us a lot. They were linked to Warner Records, like Warner Brothers. So we'd started to network with a lot of people within the music industry. And the whole idea of it was I always had the idea of I wanted to bring in other people that I thought were talented already. Like it wasn't even like it was a business thing for me. I just always wanted to bring other people around me that I thought were talented. So
lift you up.
Yeah. So from early we brought in Silver, who's from Oxford. I grew up with him. So like from early we kind of took him with us and we went to London together. Brought him to SBTV as well. And he signed his deal to Since 93, not long after I did. But the whole idea of it was we're trying to make Rax a collective, a thing where it's more than just a business, it's a family. So at that point I was like, cool, I want to start a whole group. I want it to be, if you meet Rax, we've got a producer for you, we've got a songwriter for you, we've got a engineer for you, a videographer for you. We've got everything that you need to make a song, a hit song from start to end. So
and that is your business,
yeah,
Rax.
That's what my business is.
Which we haven't spoke about yet.
Yeah.
So that collective of people before that track launched. You'd already set up racks.
We already had everybody. Yeah, we had everybody from a videographer for 2 producers. We had Oz, who was a producer. We had Kev, who's our videographer. We had me and Harry, producers, and obviously I'm an artist. Harry was also the mixing engineer. Raf is the management. So and we were always looking for new people to bring into the team. So like that's what our mission was at that point. So by the time Rover came, we had most of our team ready already, and like Rover just kind of then gave us that push and like name and
foundation,
investment, money, everything. That was like, okay, cool. We've got the team, we've got everything, we've got the plan. Now let's go. Let's hit the nail on the head.
No doubt, when you produce different tracks, you'll be like, that one's my favourite, or that one.
Yeah.
And, that one I think's gonna go, and I bet you any money that's the one that doesn't.
It never, bro. It's never that one.
Did you have any idea what Rover was gonna do?
Bro, I dropped Rover just as like a quick thing, like cool. The next song I'm gonna release is gonna be the one.
Yeah.
So I dropped Rover. I was like, cool. I remember even rushing the video. I was like, can we just get it out quickly, please, so that I can do the next song. And then because of lockdown and other circumstances, we ended up prolonging releasing my next song, which was a blessing in disguise, because within that 2-3 months, TikTok started becoming really big within the UK, and then before you know it, it's blown in Australia. So this was around the time when my family from Australia flew here on a holiday, just before lockdown. Like I think this was like March time. Lockdown started in April that year. Yeah. They've flown back with the song on their playlist. And I think at this point it's on like 1 million, 2 million streams, which is for me already. I'm already like, this is amazing.
So you'd already gone like,
I'm already like, this is crazy. I'm already like, Mum, we made it. Like, let's go. And then he's taking it back to Perth, and then somebody from Perth has then made the original dance. And then it started to blow up in Perth, then Sydney, then Melbourne, I think was the next one that kind of joined. Before you know it, the whole of Australia, and then New Zealand. And then it went to Asia.
And you're picking up countries and continents.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's like it went everywhere before it came back to the UK. So it went then Asia. So it was like Malaysia, Bali, Thailand, and like all of these places. And I'm watching all these videos, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And then I think at that point we were now like, yo, we've got something here. Let's now bring that here. So then now it was up to us to kind of make the dance. So then we did the same thing that we've always done. Went to Big Ben, did a Rover dance at Big Ben, went to Birmingham, did one at the Bull, went to Manny and did one at Old Trafford. Just like all these places where people can be like, oh my God, that's that place, that's that place. And then before you know it, everyone was making dances. And then,
So that, you think then, so that the song was already doing well.
Yeah.
And this is where we'll get into how a song then becomes an income stream.
Yeah.
But the song was already being streamed and doing well, but the thing that rode the wave and took it to the next level was the fact that people started doing was it the Moolah
The Moolah dance challenge. Yeah.
And that went mental on TikTok.
It went crazy. So I think when the dance challenge proper started, I think we had now accumulated about 5 million streams, which again, for me, was already crazy. It's the most I've ever done.
You just gone from 2 million to 5 million very quickly.
It accumulated very quickly, and it's like I'm watching it going, and I'm like, this is crazy. But then from that point on, I think the fastest we ever got, it got to the point where it was doing 1 million streams a day. So it went from 1 million to doing 1 million streams a day in about 2-3 months. And then it did that consistently for months, and it never stopped. And
it was around for a long time.
For a long time,
it stayed up for a long time, didn't it? Some songs are up and down,
and then they come down, and it's like
consistency was there.
Till this day, it's crazy. Like Rover does, I think, about 50 million a year on its own. Like this is just not even including like my other songs and whatever.
Which we'll get into already.
Yeah. Which is like. But it was just, it's ridiculous how it kind of touched so many people. I think it was lockdown times. Not many people really had nothing to do. And it was just this kind of new sound. Yeah, this new sound that they hadn't really heard.
Some people did Joe Wick, some people did Moolah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like, and it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time, and it was like, it kind of happened so quickly. Didn't really expect it, but then when we realized what was happening, we got the ball rolling, got the business. Yeah. Very quickly, we were like, okay, cool. We need to create the whole business around this. Everything that we've been doing, let's multiply by 10, because now we can. So now it was like, let's build our own studios. Let's build our own.
This is Racks.
Yeah. This is Racks. This is me and Raf and like the team were like. So now we've got 2 studios. And we were like, oh, we need to bring more artists. We need more producers. We need more. So at that point, it was just now like bringing in all these people and like, but yeah, Rover was a very pinnacle part and like the start of everything racks as the business. That's what really.
So a song, let's take Rover because it's a brilliant example.
Yeah.
And that enabled you to start that process going for all the other content and songs that's come from it. But a song to earn money, there's so many different revenues. I've done like a little pie chart on here. So there's obviously the one that comes into everybody's head first, I think, which is, say, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
Yeah.
And then there's the bookings, the concerts, then there's all the other bits around it. So just explain to us on a pie chart how a song brings in cash. Yeah. Not the numbers necessarily, but where that cash then goes and how you capitalise it on it for your business.
Okay, cool. And this is a very important bit because everything that I know today, we learned it the hard way, either the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah, okay.
So in terms of like, it was kind of like something would happen, we'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So before I signed, when you don't sign, like when you haven't signed a record deal yet, your revenue streams just count as, so for example, on Spotify, I think it's like 0.003 per stream, something like that. So like, to make it easier to calculate, it's like you get £7,000 every million streams.
Right. Okay.
That's how much like Spotify will pay you. Apple Music, I think it's like £10,000. I might be wrong, but it's around that time.
Yeah, okay.
And it always switches. So that's how they pay you. And then, but there's a lot of different stuff they don't tell you. There's the publishing side of stuff. So every single time that your song is played on radio.
Yeah.
And that all that's there's category A, B, and C. So if you're on category A, they're playing your song on rotation on Radio 1, like 20 times to 30 times a day. And and I think I can't remember exactly how much it is that they're paying every single time that they play. Yeah. And then B, it's less money, less rotation. C, less money.
As the song drops down the charts, it goes into the different bits.
Yeah. So like, there's also that. There's also the publishing side of stuff, and then obviously you then go to your shows, which is obviously to do with just you go to your shows, whatever your booking fee is, they pay you your booking fee, and then you do your show. But when you then sign a record deal, then most record deals are 80-20. So then the record deal takes 80% of what you're making. You take 20% of what you're making, because they come to you and then they go, cool, we're gonna give you 100,000. Here you go, and then we need to make that money back. Yeah, so they'll say, oh, here's 100,000. We want 6 songs from you, including this one that's going well. Here's £100,000. And as for somebody that doesn't have any money, you're like, wow, yeah, £100,000. Let me take it. And then 80-20 until you've recouped all the money, and that's how the deal kind of works. And like, there'll be a clause within the contract that kind of says, maybe for the next 10 years, we've got that 80-20 deal of all your music off this deal. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is.
So then your business is running off the 20.
Yeah,
that's still good income.
It is. Yeah,
compared to go from 0 to
the exactly. Obviously, you get given your advance, and then like the 20 obviously comes in. So if you're doing really well, then you don't usually worry about it. But at the same time, it's one of them things where if you did stay independent, you would make all of that. But at the same time, it's like, there's things that labels bring to the table that you necessarily don't have. They have the connections with the radio. They have the connections with Spotify, YouTube.
Do they manage, because I was thinking when you were saying about the radio, that's okay, do they manage at making sure every time it's being played, it's being tracked as well? And all
so like there's companies that actually do this. So there's a company called PRS. They collect all your music from all over the place, whether streaming or YouTube.
Playing in Wembley before the football.
Yeah, literally stuff like that. Wherever it's being played on the radio, and then there's publishing, who then help you. Like, it's like publishing the song. They help you with syncing. So like, your song could be on adverts. It could be on the radio. It could be in movies. They're the ones that help you do that. Put in video games. That's what publishing is for. So there's so many different ways that people get paid. It's almost too confusing. A lot of artists don't know.
You can almost be creative coming up with new ways.
Yeah. Literally, it's so mad. It's like and really, to be honest with you, the best way to do it is to be independent, earn all your money on your own. But at the same time, it means you're gonna have to fund. So like my last video when I was signed, I think cost like £60,000-70,000, but the label paid that. But if you're independent,
to produce the music video,
and then
you
then pay it back through your revenue streams. So do you get how it works? So it's like,
but the cash that's coming in on top of that, you've got for you to do racks and to do, which is taking on people as well. And
Yeah,
your own
yeah,
company
yeah,
and bringing
yeah,
people
yeah.
in. Yeah, so we're starting to build this mental picture of then how a track works,
Yeah.
how music works,
Yeah.
how you got to that
How
stage
I got to that point, how I'm getting paid, and like, yes. So I think shows actually becomes one of your main incomes, because that's one of the incomes that you're getting majority of the money.
Okay,
The
so
only
they're not
person,
getting 80% of a show.
they're not. Yeah, they don't touch my show money. The only people
Okay.
that will touch my show money is my tour manager or my manager. So obviously my manager gets 10%. My tour manager will have a fixed fee, whether it's like £500 every single time we have a show or whatever.
Yep.
And then you keep yours. So yeah, your shows become one of your main incomes. So if you're not popping, yeah, that's a whole other thing. If you don't have something that people want you to do shows, then that slows down. But yeah, it's quite complicated. But the goal for young artists out there is to be independent and try and stay independent and try and cover everything yourselves. It's more difficult to look as professional because your stuff might not be as high quality as it would be if you were underneath a label. Once you start making a lot of money and make enough money, then yeah, cool. But yeah, the goal is to be independent, but that's how record labels.
So knowing what you know now,
Yeah.
would you have changed anything when you signed that
Oh
initial
yeah.
deal?
Oh yeah. I would have never signed a deal. Like I look at how much, like I don't regret it. Like it's not like I'm in a horrible position.
Yeah.
But the position I would have been in if I didn't sign the deal would be completely different. But I feel like you have to go through all of that to understand. It's like
You said you only learn by doing.
yeah. I only learned by kind of going through the whole process. But I don't regret it. I always like now, like I said, my business that I run now is I bring another artist, we bring another producers, and we help them navigate through the entire thing from the making the music, which is my bit of the business. I help you make the songs. I make sure they're hit songs. I make sure Raf takes you through all the business without nobody shasting you or taking anything that they're not meant to be taking.
Okay. So we just had a little break, a little
Yo,
pee break. So we've been
come on,
drinking
man.
a little bit, sitting down the
Thatcher's
side.
is getting to me.
You're
man.
enjoying
Thatcher's
that. You've
is
never
coming.
had that before,
No,
have you?
no. Shout out Thatcher's, bro. Shout out Thatcher's.
I love that. But where we got to, we spoke about Rover. I think we've covered that off now.
Yeah.
And we understand how a song produces income.
Yeah.
And you can turn that income into a business. But what I want to know now is, it must be difficult sometimes. Do you ever find yourself going like to some people like, I have got other tracks, like, do you know what I mean? And like, go away. Like,
and it's like, it is crazy because it's like, I'm so proud of what Rover did because it's like, it went and it was unexpected when it was happening. But it was like, obviously, as a musician, you want to be able to continuously make music and have a whole career from it. And it's like, but when something goes so huge, it's quite difficult to like, so like this next song that I released after that went number 10 in the charts. But it's like, comparing to Rover, where it
insane.
did number 3 in the charts, it's like people won't even think about it. But I don't even look at it as like
I did look, it was number 2 in Belgium as well. So
which was crazy. It did I think like number 5 in Denmark, number 6 in like Sweden. It did like number 4 in Australia. So like there's a lot of places that it did really well. So it's like, but yeah, going from Rover and then Loose, the next one that I did.
That's my favourite.
Thank you. With KSI and yeah, that went to number 13 or like number 12. I can't remember exactly what it was. But people won't look at it as like as that the kind of like the biggest thing that you've ever done is what people always talk about. So you can't even get upset by it or like be annoyed by it. It's kind of like I'm proud of what that did and what it built for me. And at that point, I think I've always loved more being a musician than I have been an artist anyway. So like it was more for me that Rover built a platform for me to continuously keep releasing music. So I never felt that way to be like, I'll go listen to my other music. Like yeah, Rover's there, but like go listen to that. I never really like felt that way. It's kind of like, okay, cool. You still listen to Rover.
You seem really relaxed about that the whole thing. Like there's just no regret. Oh, this could have gone differently, but it didn't, and that's fine because it did this for me.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because you can't change the narrative. It's like there's no point stressing about the past. I can't change it. So it's like, why not capitalize as much as I can off what I'm doing now? And it changed my life forever. So like, there's no way I could ever be angry and be like, oh, I've got other music. I go listen to my other music. And it's like, I also understand that because of the platform that Rover's made for me. As long as I keep working hard, I'll probably be able to just do it again. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the way I look at it. It's like if I did it once, I can do it again.
That'll be another one.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of them where like.
But to be honest, to get a song as high as the others have as well, you'd have been, if Rover wasn't there, you'd have been over the moon.
Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like I just look at it as it was a blessing in disguise, and like for a lot of people, in my position where I release like 2-3 songs a year, if that. But like my career is still very much going very well. I get a deal every year. I make Like, I don't want to say whatever, but I'm good. I'm very good. It's
You're
like,
24 tomorrow.
I'm 24 tomorrow. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, even the other day, like, I showed my mom my PRS account. My mom was like, do you know how old you are? Like, do you know how many people your age are not making even this much in 2-3 years? So it's like, I look at it and I go, bro, it was a blessing in disguise. My life is still going very well. I've been able to build my entire business. I can still make music anytime that I want. Why would I regret and be like, like, no, man. I'm actually very grateful that, like, people are still listening to me every year. And it's like, I don't even release that much. So I'm glad that I still have that kind of, that name within music. Yeah.
Well, you dropped it into conversation so relaxed.
Yeah.
Like, I did Loose with KSI.
Yeah.
Come on, man, I saw
It's
through
great,
that.
yeah, bro.
I remember we all used to watch a lot of YouTube growing up.
Bro.
So explain to me that.
Bro, that whole thing, yeah, like, I tried to keep chill about it, but when I first met him, it was ridiculous because he actually hit me up around the time that I released Rover. He was like, yo, I'm banging this song every day. Me and Deji, he was like, Deji won't stop playing the song. My mom loves the song. And I'm like, bro, these are people I watched 4 hours, days
Just
on end.
randomly hit you up.
Bro, and he just randomly hit me up out of nowhere. He was like, bro, I remember when he hit me and he said, I'm starting to do music. Would love to get in. I was like, what? Guess I was doing music. And this was around the time when people weren't taking his music seriously at all.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm like...
Because he did Lamborghini, didn't he?
Yeah, he had done
before?
Lamborghini, and like, obviously, like, Lamborghini was a joke. He hadn't really started to take music properly. Like, so... In my head, I'm like, bro, this is KSI. So, like, I made Loose. I remember, like, I made Loose a song, and then I've sent it over to him, and he's just sent me fire emoji straight away. And I'm like, for us. Like, in my head, I'm just like, this is JJ. This is KSI. We've gone to the studio. We've linked up in the studio. And he's the nicest guy. I thought I was going to meet him, and he's probably going to be taking the piss, making whatever. Bro, he was so chilled, so humble.
And serious about
and
it.
Serious. Like, we were in the studio. I thought we were going to get there. He's going to be pissing about. He's going to be, nah, bro. Serious. And he's like, bro, he had, like, producers, writers, everything. He was like, bro, I really want to make this a big song. And then he raps the verse. And I'm like, what? Like, there's no way that's KSI. Like, this sounds crazy.
Yeah, because you must have thought, right, okay, as crazy as this situation is, it's KSI.
Yeah.
Your music in you and the way you must have gone, I'm not doing this unless this is right as well.
So the musician in me was also like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm going to hear out of the studio session. And at that point, it was almost like, cool, we're going to do the song. But I don't even know when it comes to releasing if it will. I'd really kind of said to my management, and this is at a time where, like, yeah, his music career hasn't gone off at all. So it's like everyone in my team's kind of questioning it. And it's just me and my manager that are kind of like, let's do it. Let's see what happens.
Let's try.
We go into the studio, bro, and he raps the hardest verse. And he took his time. He was in there, like, he messed up a couple of times, but he was going. It was as if he's a hungry new artist. Like, he was proper. And I was like, bro, this is crazy. Yeah, we made the song. I brought him his first ever Magnum. I don't know if you know the little tonic wine drinks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, and I brought him his first ever Magnum, so he started getting all litty. But, bro, that day was crazy. We made the song. He invited me to his house, like, the next weekend. We go to his house. He had a chef, played FIFA, and I'm in my head this entire time, I'm just like, this is KSI. Like, this is the guy that I grew up, like, watching and listening to, and he's treating me like his bro. Like, this is my bro now. Like, he FaceTimed me. Like, now I have his number. I can just call him right now. I'm just like, bro, yo, how are you doing? So, like, these are the moments where I look at it and I say, I thank everybody.
My
like,
path.
yeah, I thank my path. I thank everything that happened, because if Rover never got to where it got to, I never have access to somebody like KSI or be able to do what I did with KSI. So yeah, it was ridiculous. Until this date, he's my bro. He's even trying to get me to box somebody in the boxing thing. I'm still, yeah, bro. Like, I'm questioning a bit.
No, this is an exclusive.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
You're gonna go against Road to Success.
Bro, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But he's like, bro, jump on the boxing. He's like, I'll get you a trainer. Like, we can sort it out. But it's like, bro, the guy's the most humblest, nicest guy. He shouldn't be that humble, but he's the nicest, humblest guy. So, like, yeah, man, I appreciate him for everything that he did for me. Song came out, went straight to, like, the charts. He boomed the charts very quickly. I think it's just recently gone silver. It's about to go gold, certified, which is crazy. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I just kind of find it crazy that I can just, I can just FaceTime him and be like, yo, bro. And he's literally the most famous person in the UK right now, or one of.
Which is incredible that song led you on that path, and then you done that one, and then you done the next one,
bro.
Because it seems like you keep coming, and on that you've got a release coming out almost imminently.
Yeah. I've got, so it's obviously, like I said, it's been a while since I kind of like been releasing music, been working on the business and other guys. But yeah, like this year I just kind of thought, bro, it's time to give him another one. Summertime's around the corner, so my birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday to me. Kind of like watch out for that. But I'm gonna drop the preview for the song tomorrow, and then end of April, I think I'm gonna start actually promoting, just getting ready for summer again. So yeah.
And what's the song called?
The song's called D&D, Do Not Disturb. I'm just kind of talking about. I feel like a lot has happened in my life. A lot of people tried to come into my life. A lot of people try to come in and say things and whatever. So I'm just kind of on the notion, unless we're doing things together and you're really in my life because you want to be in my life, please do not disturb me. Do not. So my phone is on D&D.
That's
24/7.
So Do Not Disturb, that is the name of the track.
Yes.
And it's because you don't want anyone else getting into your life.
Yeah, man. Like I've just got to a point in my life where I feel like I'm nearly 24. Like I don't know, make my
boys.
Yeah, I got my people around me. It's like a lot of people just want to call you and come into your life. You'd understand like the more and more successful you get, the more and more people just want to be around you, take your energy. I'm not really on that no more. I just want to be with my family, with my peoples, and continue building with my business. So like, that's how I'm feeling at the moment. So I put in a track, and yeah, man. At the same time, it's summer, bro. Like I feel like summertime is when I come alive. So like, yeah, man.
Well, it's when everybody is at concerts and you're on stage.
Yeah.
So that's what is to date the most incredible booking or performance that you've got to do.
Mad. I've done a few. Like obviously, Reading Festival was amazing. Wireless Festival was amazing. I've got to fly around the world everywhere. Like we recently just did a tour with Be Young, European tour. We went from we went from Sweden to Denmark, and then we went to Germany. Went to Amsterdam, went to France. Like it was just back to back. Yeah, which is crazy. But I think the best shows I've ever done was when I went to Australia. Australia really showed me love. Perth, to be more specific. We sold out the show in Perth, which is the best show that I've ever done. But I've done some like crazy big festivals, which is like it's amazing, and I'm very appreciative of it. But I think Perth, like just walking into a city where I told them that I'm gonna be at a shoe shop. And literally, we walked around the corner, and the entire street is filled. And I'm like, "What? This is Australia. This is the other side of the world." Like, and they're all they're all lining up for me to just kind of see me. Like, it's not even like it was a concert. I just said I'm gonna be at the shoe shop. Everyone showed up. So like, shout out to Australia and Perth for showing me that love. But I think that's the most wholesome moment I've ever had, where it's like I really felt the love from everybody and appreciated.
It's very different on your phone to in the flash, isn't it?
Very different. And it's like, considering everything that happened for me during lockdown to come out, all the experiences that I could have had in that year, I was able to then capitalize and like do them in the next few years. So for me to be able to go to the other side of the world and have people like lining up round the corner and like, yeah, bro, it does something to you. It was amazing.
And what I love is I mentioned this to you earlier, but the guests obviously won't know. My cousin Sarah is a teacher at New College in Swindon, which is where you were doing those college courses and using that studio. Yeah. And you went back at this time, didn't you? To speak to the kid at New College or perform at New College? What?
I did both. So I actually did. I did a class with obviously the studio that I used to always be in was right next to the music tech room. And the music tech teacher, his name was Stuart Rowe. He helped me so much. Like him and Merv, like I told you, Merv was a technician. They helped me so much. Anytime I had a question, I'd be like, yo, how do you do this? How do I do that? He always helped me. So I was like, Stu, he hit me up when he saw I was in the charts. He was like, bro, would love for you to come back. And I was like, yeah, bro, I'm so down to do that. If I had somebody that was kind of doing well to come and speak to me at the time and just kind of school me on a couple stuff.
And inspire.
Yeah, and inspire me. I feel like my journey would have been so much quicker. All the stuff that went wrong probably wouldn't have gone wrong. So I feel like it was very important for me to go and kind of school these guys. Like, this is how the business is. It is cutthroat. There is a lot of things you're going to have to go through. But yeah, man, just power through. These are the little tips I can give you. And yeah, man, and then did a little concert in the whole, not even little, like I feel like most of the college was in there, it was filled up, which is amazing. But I think it was just nice to go back. This is where my journey started. So it was nice to go back and really get love from everybody that was there, the teachers and everything. And like, I appreciate that they, like your sister's even saying they were speaking highly for me, like, which is amazing. Because when I was there, they found me annoying. They found me like crazy and annoying. So it's nice to see that, yeah, the narrative has changed, man.
So you mentioned earlier, because I love learning stuff, and everyone will have to put up with me on this podcast because my brain goes everywhere.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, I'd love to learn about that. So when you say, like with KSI, for example, we went into the studio and we did a studio session.
Yeah.
That's obviously all part of the creative process.
Yeah.
So are you in there all day? Like, how does it, what have you got an itinerary, or is it literally just like we go in the studio and we have some drinks and we just vibe?
And we see what happens. That's what studio consists of most of the time. Like for myself anyway, it's kind of like, let's go into the studio, we bring a producer, and the producer just kind of starts to vibe and make beats. And yeah, might have a little drink, might have other guys like to smoke, whatever it is that brings out your muse. And like, yeah, you vibe out in the studio until you make something. Specifically with the KSI session, I already had made the song. I'd done the song in the previous session with a gap for him to then jump on. So when we got to the studio, I think we were there for about 4 or 5 hours there. You get there, you vibe out. SX was there as well. I don't know if you know SX, but he's my guy. He's another artist. He helps JJ a lot with his music as well. So SX was there as well. We just vibed out for that 4 or 5 hours, and that's how long it took for him to do the verse. But yeah, every studio session is different. Sometimes it's like, we need to get this done right now. 1 hour, let's bang it out, boom. But sometimes it's like, you could be in the studio for 12 hours, 13 hours. I've been in the studio for 3 days once, just back to back to back. Yeah, non-stop. It's like, the only thing I've done is gone, left home, showered, refreshed, and then come back straight away. And like, we've been in studios that have showers, so like, there's days where you just don't leave, like, because it's like, what else am I going to do?
I suppose it'd be like suddenly stopping this now and then trying to restart exactly the same, but
yeah,
you end up getting into your flow when you're in
there.
Yeah,
literally.
You probably put your phone on D&D.
But bro, literally, and that's the whole point, is like, you have to just kind of hone into your craft and what you're doing. So if you can lock yourself in that room and don't do anything else but that's when you get the best results in what you're doing. So like, yeah.
And that's in London?
Yeah, that's in London. That's where I'm based.
And then being in London, because obviously right now we're out in the sticks where we grew up.
Yeah.
Being in London, does that surround you with a lot more of the people that you need to make this stuff work?
Yeah, London's so fast. Obviously, living here, everything's quite relaxed and slow. So like, London is very much like, there's a statement called, you get drawn out. Everyone is working very hard, very quickly, very fast. So if you're not on the ball and you're not ready to do what needs to be done, you feel it straight away because you see everybody else is rushing and getting to work. But yeah, London is where the vibe is. That's where all the artists are, the producers, the musicians. So it's where you need to be to kind of get everything done. So yeah, I moved from here to London. 3 months later, everything happened for me. And I've been doing music since I was a child, but I had to move to London for it to really happen for me. So I'm not saying you have to be in London, but just go wherever it is you know that everybody else is, that you need to get what is you need to get done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, for me, it was London. So I needed to go and be in the mix where everybody else is.
So obviously, 24 tomorrow.
Yeah.
What age was Rover?
I was, when I released, I was 19, but when everything happened, I just turned 20. Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah. It's about to be 4 years. It's about to be 4 years, which is crazy. Because, yeah, it started to blow, I think, that April, 2020 April.
So if that was 4 years ago, looking 4 years into the future,
yeah,
what's the plan? Where's the goals? What is it that you want to achieve?
I think I'm kind of already on the way to where I want to be. But like I said, obviously, we broke down how my business works, which is in terms of we've got everybody that you need when you come to us. But I wanna really become a household name where, like, you know that if you go to Rax, you're going to get yourself a hit song. But we want to do more than just music. It's like, we've now got guys that do movies, screenplays, and like, obviously, like I told you, I want to get into podcasting, which is why this really inspired me when I saw that you were doing the whole, and we've got, Rax has our own V-Class business where we literally redone our whole V-Class, the inside, and kind of remodeled it, which is why I was really interested in what you were doing, because this is amazing to be able to remodel a van into a podcast studio. This is sick. This is innovative stuff. So like, cheers. Yeah, man. So like, we've got V-Class businesses. But yeah, for me, it's just kind of like, I feel like I've done all this business stuff for the last couple of years. Now it's time for me to kind of get back into what I do.
So you've got again. 2 journeys.
Yeah.
Because the cash and the income and the song blowing up is like, whoa, I can do all this business stuff, which thank God as well, you had the experience when you went to college and you learnt about some of that bits. And definitely having your dad back at home, he must have been quite influential on you and your...
My dad helped me so much. My dad's a businessman, so like, all of the stuff that I didn't know, straight away, Dad, yo, how do I sort this out? Tax, like, there's so much stuff they don't tell you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's so much stuff they don't tell you. So like, my dad just helped me with so much stuff. I would not be here at all if it wasn't for my dad and my mum. But yeah, like, it's just having the right people in your corner, man. having the right people in the corner. But yeah, I'm on 2 journeys right now. Obviously, there's the business
personal brand and business.
Exactly. So like as well as being a musician, obviously I'm an artist, but I also make music for other people. I write for a lot of other people. So like I want to hone in on my passion as well. I haven't been able to really take care of my passion and what I want to do. So this year it's all about the business is kind of running itself now. So now I'm on a point where let me take my career, let me put my career back in the front of everything now.
So that's actually quite interesting. If you've got other people coming into the mix, like KSI for argument's sake.
Yeah.
You told me before, so if you do a song and you just sing 80-20 and then you got the income in it, how does it work when you start to bring in other people that say do a part of the song and like...
So yeah, it becomes a whole thing. It's like everyone has a feature fee. So like for example, if I do a feature with somebody, I have my fee that I say, this is how much I charge for me to be on the song. But at the same time, I also want a percentage of that 20, of that 20. So like obviously there's the publishing side of stuff. I didn't really go into publishing. The way publishing works is if you sign your publishing is the rights of your music, owning the rights of your music. So if you sign your publishing away, it'll be a 50-50 deal. It's different to a record deal. So usually when artists sign, they sign 2 different deals. Your record deal, which is the 80-20, and then your publishing is the rights to your music. It's all complicated. It's a bit hard to explain, but usually that's a 50-50 deal. So you have the other 50. And at that point, it's like the producer, when you do a song, the producer will then come to and take 25. You're left to 25. If a feature comes in, he'll come in and take like 10.
And that's from income from all those bits on the pie chart.
Yeah, that entire pie chart. Like, we might need to probably do a whole nother podcast just to explain how publishing and record deals work. But this is just a vague explanation of it. So when I come in as a feature, I'll be like, I also want. It's all negotiation. You have to negotiate.
Do you negotiate in the studio?
Yeah, you have to. No, like, it depends who it is, but, like, it's like, for you to sit in the studio and do that, you kind of just leave it to the managers, because when artists start doing that, it becomes all...
personal.
Yeah, it becomes all weird, but it's like, you kind of be like, I want that much of your publishing, and then you kind of have to, just play around until you all decide and all come to an agreement. But yeah, it's usually, the initial thing is, this is how much I charge to be on your song, and then they pay it. So if I'm under a record deal, my record label will pay that fee, and then I pay that fee back through my revenue streams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I think we've pretty much covered off a hell of a lot of stuff. I try and like to keep these podcasts concise and get to the point. I couldn't have asked for a better guest and easier conversation. That was absolutely amazing. So the last question I must ask is, when is Simba pulling up in the Rover?
Do you know what's mad? When we did Rover actually hit us up. And they were like, cool.
Range Rover?
Yeah.
I was going to ask this.
Land Rover hit us up. They were like, we want to give you a car. And I was 19, 20 at the time. And they have a rule of like certain Range Rovers, you got to be 21 and over to drive them.
Okay.
So at the time, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I want the range. Now I want
the song's about, you can't give me a Land Rover
I want the big one. I want the Vogue. I want the Vogue one. I want the big one. They were like, sorry, we can't give it to you. So I was okay, cool, give it to us and I'll give it to my mum. So my mum drives the Range right now. I ended up going to get a Mercedes. I know I'm like whatever, but yeah, my mum drives my Range right now.
Well, that's all right.
But we got
just have to do a Merc song next, wouldn't you?
Bro, if Mercedes give me the right bag, I'll do it, man. I'll do it.
Amazing. Thank you ever so
much for having me.
Dream
bro.
guest.
Come on, man.
Cheers, Simba. See you again soon.